Let me ask you something real. How long have you been imagining your future instead of building it? How many nights have you laid in bed, seeing yourself successful, respected, powerful, but when the morning comes, you hit snooze and live the same day again? See, dreaming feels good. Planning feels safe. But neither of them changes your life. Only action does. You don't get the future you hope for. You get the future you work for. And the world doesn't reward intentions. It rewards execution. You can visualize the mansion, the freedom, the impact. But if your habits don't match that vision, you're just entertaining yourself with fantasy. Greatness is not loud. It's not glamorous. It's quiet, consistent, and uncomfortable. It's waking up when you don't feel like it. It's doing the work when nobody is clapping. It's choosing discipline over distraction, progress over comfort, and purpose over pleasure. You see, your future isn't some place you arrive at one day. It's something you construct every single morning you choose to get up and do the work. Brick by brick, choice by choice, rep by rep, hour by hour. So stop waiting for motivation. Stop waiting for the perfect time. Stop waiting for permission. The future doesn't belong to the people who imagine. It belongs to the people who build. And today, it's your turn to start building. Your future isn't something you stumble into by accident, and it's not hidden inside your thoughts waiting to be discovered. It's created through what you repeatedly do when no one is watching. Dreams are important because they give direction, but action is what gives them weight. Without action, a dream is just a picture in your mind that never leaves the frame. You can imagine success all day, but imagination alone doesn't change your skills, your habits, or your circumstances. Only movement does that. Every result you admire in someone else's life is the outcome of thousands of small, often boring decisions. The athlete didn't wake up one morning talented. They trained when it was uncomfortable. The entrepreneur didn't become confident overnight. They failed, learned, adjusted, and tried again. The student who excels didn't just wish for good grades. They showed up, studied, asked questions, and stayed consistent. Action is the bridge between who you are now and who you want to become. Waiting for the perfect moment is one of the most dangerous habits because it feels responsible, but it's actually avoidance. There will always be reasons to delay. Not enough time, not enough money, not enough confidence, not enough support. But growth never starts in perfect conditions. It starts in messy, uncertain ones. When you act despite fear, despite doubt, despite not feeling ready, you begin shaping a new identity. You stop being someone who hopes and start becoming someone who builds. Action also teaches you things that thinking never can. You learn what works by trying. You learn what doesn't by failing. You learn your strengths by using them and your weaknesses by facing them. Every step forward, even a small one, creates momentum. And momentum changes how you see yourself. You stop asking, "Can I do this?" and start saying, "I'm already doing it." Your future is built in the choices you make today. What you do with your time, who you listen to, what you practice, and what you tolerate. If your actions match your goals, your future will change. If they don't, your future will stay the same no matter how big your dreams are. Action is not about being perfect. It's about being consistent. One focused hour a day beats 1,000 imagined ones. So if you want a different life, you don't need a new vision as much as you need new behaviors. Start small. Start scared. Start imperfect. But start moving, because the future you want is not waiting for you somewhere ahead. It's being built by what you choose to do right now. One action at a time. Visualization is powerful, but only when it's backed by work. When people sit around imagining their future without moving their feet, they're not preparing for success. They're comforting themselves in the present. It feels productive to picture the results, but if that picture doesn't change what you do today, it becomes a trap. You start believing you're making progress just because you're thinking about progress. In reality, nothing is changing. There's a big difference between seeing the destination and walking the road. Anyone can close their eyes and imagine being confident, wealthy, respected, or free. But the future isn't built in your head, it's built in your habits. If your daily routine looks the same as it did last year, your life will probably look the same next year too, no matter how big your dreams are. Visualization without effort is like drawing blueprints and never picking up a tool. The danger is that imagination can become a substitute for courage. Instead of facing discomfort, you escape into ideas. Instead of risking failure, you replay success in your mind. Instead of doing the hard thing, you think about how good it would feel if you did it someday. That might feel safe, but it keeps you stuck. Real growth requires friction. It requires doing things you don't fully understand yet, speaking before you feel ready, and starting before you feel confident. Work is what gives vision credibility. When you take action, even small action, your vision stops being a fantasy and starts becoming a plan. You learn what skills you're missing. You find out where you're weak. You discover what actually matters and what was just ego. Work turns ideas into reality one rep at a time. It's also important to understand that motivation fades, but discipline doesn't. On the days you don't feel inspired, your habits carry you forward. On the days your vision feels far away, your work keeps you moving. People who succeed aren't the ones who imagine more. They're the ones who show up more. They do the boring reps. They repeat the basics. They stay consistent when no one is watching. If you want your future to change, your daily behavior has to change first. Thinking about success doesn't make you successful. Talking about goals doesn't make you disciplined. Watching others win doesn't make you stronger. Only doing the work does. Your effort is what gives your vision a heartbeat. So don't just picture the life you want. Build it with your time, your energy, and your choices. Let your actions speak louder than your dreams. And let your work turn your imagination into something real. And unstoppable motivation is a feeling, and feelings change. Some days you wake up energized, focused, ready to conquer everything. Other days you feel tired, distracted, unsure, and heavy. If your progress depends on how you feel, then your future will be unstable. Discipline is what keeps you moving when motivation disappears. It's the decision to act even when you don't feel like it. And that's where real power is built. Motivation is loud at the start. It gets you excited. It shows you what's possible. But it doesn't stay. Life interrupts. Stress shows up. Doubt creeps in. Comfort starts calling your name. That's when most people quit, not because they can't do it, but because they don't feel like doing it anymore. Discipline doesn't ask how you feel. It asks what needs to be done. Then it does it anyway. Discipline is choosing long-term results over short-term comfort. It's waking up early when your bed feels better than your goals. It's training when your body wants rest. It's studying when your phone is begging for your attention. It's saying no to what feels good now, so you can say yes to what feels great later. Every discipline choice is a vote for the person you want to become. What makes discipline powerful is that it builds identity. When you consistently show up, you stop seeing yourself as someone who tries and start seeing yourself as someone who does. You build trust with yourself. And once you trust yourself, your confidence grows from the inside, not from applause or approval. You know who you are because of what you repeatedly do. Discipline also removes the need to overthink. When you have a routine, you don't waste energy debating whether you should act. You just act. You don't wait for the perfect mood. You don't wait for the perfect conditions. You execute the plan. And that consistency compounds. Small actions done daily outperform big actions done occasionally. People often say they're waiting to feel ready. But readiness comes from repetition, not from thinking. The more you do the work, the more capable you become. The more capable you become, the more confident you feel. Discipline creates momentum, and momentum makes hard things feel possible. If you want to build something real in your life, you can't rely on motivation. You have to rely on structure. Set your standards. Build your habits. Show up on the good days and the bad ones. Because the days you don't feel like it are the days that matter most. That's why discipline beats motivation every time. Because motivation starts the journey, but discipline finishes. Every big future you admire is built from small choices that most people ignore. Nobody wakes up one day with a powerful life by accident. It happens because day after day, they made decisions that aligned with who they wanted to become. Your life is not shaped by what you do once in a while. It's shaped by what you do consistently. The smallest actions, repeated over time, create the largest results. Think about it. 1 extra hour of focus every day turns into hundreds of hours in a year. One healthy choice today turns into a stronger body in the future. One brave conversation today turns into confidence tomorrow. One disciplined habit today turns into freedom later. You're always building something, whether you realize it or not. Every decision is a brick, and those bricks are stacking into the life you're going to live. Most people think the future is something far away, but the truth is it's being created in the present. What you choose to do with your mornings, your evenings, your weekends, and your energy is shaping what your life will look like next year, 5 years from now, and 10 years from now. You don't drift into a great future. You design it through your daily behavior. The hard part is that small choices don't feel important in the moment. Skipping one workout doesn't feel like a big deal. Wasting 1 hour doesn't feel dangerous. Giving into comfort once doesn't feel like failure. But those small moments add up. Just like success compounds, so does stagnation. The future you're building is either moving you closer to your vision or further away from it. Every time you choose focus over distraction, you're building discipline. Every time you choose effort over excuses, you're building strength. Every time you choose growth over comfort, you're building confidence. And every time you choose consistency over quitting, you're building a future you can be proud of. You don't need to change everything at once. You just need to change something today. One habit, one routine, one decision, one action. Because the future doesn't respond to big talk. It responds to small, repeated proof. When you understand this, you stop waiting for motivation and start paying attention to your choices. You realize that your destiny isn't written in the stars. It's written in your schedule. It's written in your habits. It's written in how you treat your time and how seriously you take your own potential. So if you want a different tomorrow, don't wait for it. Build it in the quiet moments. Build it in the boring moments. Build it in the moments when nobody is watching. Because every small decision you make today is shaping the life you're going to live tomorrow, and the future you are becoming right now waiting is the most common way people betray their own potential. They tell themselves they'll start when they're ready, when the timing is right, when the fear is gone, when the situation improves. But readiness is not something you find. It's something you build by moving. Confidence doesn't come before action. It comes from action. The longer you wait, the heavier the starting line feels, and the more your dreams begin to fade into excuses. Greatness isn't a switch you flip one day. It's a muscle you develop, and muscles only grow when they're used. Every time you choose to act instead of hesitate, you strengthen your belief in yourself. Every time you take a step forward, you prove that you're not just a thinker, but a doer. And over time, those small steps turn into momentum, and that momentum turns into identity. You stop saying, I want to be someone who does this, and you start saying, I am someone who does this. People often wait for permission from parents, from friends, from society, from circumstances. But no one is coming to give you a green light. The world doesn't hand out approval slips for your dreams. If you want a different life, you have to give yourself permission to begin. Not tomorrow, not next month, not when it's easy. Now, action is scary because it exposes you to failure. But staying stuck exposes you to regret. And regret lasts longer than fear ever will. Fear fades when you move through it. Regret grows when you sit still. Every day you don't act is a day you're choosing the same future over a better one. Doing is how you separate yourself from the crowd. Everyone talks. Everyone plans. Everyone says they want more. But very few are willing to get uncomfortable enough to earn more. The moment you start doing, you enter a different category. You become rare. You become dangerous to mediocrity. You become someone who doesn't wait for life to happen, but makes life happen. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need full confidence. You don't need all the answers. You just need the courage to take the next step. One call, one page, one workout, one attempt, one risk. That's how it starts. And once it starts, it changes everything. So stop waiting to become someone. Start acting like who you want to be. Stop imagining the future. Start building it with your hands, your habits, and your choices. Because the world doesn't reward potential. It rewards proof. And if this message lit a fire in you, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.